keeps slipping off. Come on. Snap ring pliers keep slipping off. Really? Okay, so today we have a 2002 Harley Electra glide. We are going to change out, or not change out, but we're going to attempt putting a rebuild kit in the front master cylinder on the brakes because they're extremely soft. So let's suck out the fluid. Oh man, look how dirty that is. We bled these brakes just a couple weeks ago and it's just filthy dirty. When you do this brake fluid, you got to be really careful not to drip on the bike. So we have a towel, and hopefully that's going to keep our brake fluid under control. I mean, that part looks clear, but inside there it looks pretty dirty. Weird. Looks pretty, actually it doesn't look too bad. But my squeeze bulb's leaking bad. Nice if it held the fluid tight. Okay. We got most of that sucked out. Now we just have to soak the rest up with a paper towel. And this thing leaks terribly. It leaks everywhere. It's mostly empty, but there's still a little bit left. Make sure you wipe off any drips, which we have a few on the outside, because it leaches your paint up if you leave it on there. And we rolled this paper towel up and just kind of let it wick. Let the fluid wick up the paper towel. If you come over here, you can see how the fluid kind of climbs up the paper towel there, soaking it up. Now turn it over. Put the other end in, let it soak for a minute. Got a lot of it. Pretty close to empty. And anyway, if there's a lot in there, you could tear the end of you could tear that paper towel off and let it soak up again, and then show the wet part away if you wanted. But that's pretty good. Okay, so now we have to undo the banjo bolt that the brake fluid goes through from the master cylinder down the brake line. So we're gonna have to undo that. And of course, we have, I don't know, they call it a spline drive or what, but the socket looks like it's a spline drive. It's kind of a crazy little socket. You find them at your local Harbor Freight if you don't want to spend a lot of money. Break this open. Have a paper towel ready so you can catch any fluid once this is all the way loose. I had one, put it on the floor. There's a washer on both sides of this banjo, the brake line. There's some fluid. Get that out of the washer. Put my little magnetic tray so it doesn't go too far. And keep that there while they loosen up. These torque screws hold the master cylinder on. T25 Torx. trusty assistant will hold that, I can unscrew it. Put it right there so it doesn't fall. Because this is all that's holding it on. There you have the master cylinder. And the part we're going to replace is inside there. And there was still some fluid in there, which luckily I missed my shoe. There's still a little bit in there. It looks fairly clean, which is good. Okay, so now we have the master cylinder off the bike. We need to get this rubber seal out of here. And we're going to try a screwdriver, whatever it takes. And you really don't need to be too careful with this part because it's going to be replaced. But this will be this will be replaced. Pretty much everything is replaced, right? Let's see here. Yeah, everything's in the kit, so that's all going to be replaced, so you don't have to worry too much about it. So, I wonder if I can just get a pair of pliers on that thing. Pull it out. But it still is really tough to get out. I don't want to ruin the cylinder bore. Yeah, that's tough. Let me get a pair of pliers. Hang on. Okay, I only got a pair of pliers. Let's see if I can maybe pull it out with this. I don't know. I'm a rookie at this. First time I've done it. Man, it's kind of stubborn. But I win. That seems to be the best method. So here's that little rubber seal. There's that piece that gets replaced. Then here's our piston in here. Let me pull that out, like so. And then there's the inside of the bore. Let's get the rest of the fluid out. And we just need to make sure that is clean inside. Right now it's still dirty and wet, so we'll clean it out. We grab a paper towel. Fill it up. Hopefully I can fit it in there. This would be better if I had cleaner hands too. And as you can see, I'm just twisting it to work its way in there. Dirt. So you can see the light in there. There. Not too terrible, I guess, but there's still a little bit of something in there. And it's probably mostly dirt from right here, which I should have cleaned off first. Yeah, see? Just remind you, I'm just a do-it-yourselfer. I watched the video and I'm going to attempt it myself. So I know if I can't fix it, there's a professional out there that can. So yeah, I need to get the dirt out of the bottom of that. So I was told some throttle body cleaner would be a good idea to use. Let's see if I have some. And look at that. There we go. I'm just gonna spray it in so it runs back out. Pretty close. Maybe we'll try shooting it from the other end, see if that works. Hopefully we don't get it in our eyes. Make sure you have safety glasses on. Let's turn it so there's a hole in the end, so we'll turn it so it drains. Maybe that'll help. pretty good. You see in there? Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. Dry. I don't think I need to do that at all. Okay. Looks pretty good. I don't know if the throttle body cleaner will affect the brake fluid or not, but I was told to wash it in Dawn dishwashing detergent to get any of this residue off. So I guess we're going to do that next. Alright, so we just spent a few minutes washing this master cylinder out. If you look inside, it's pretty clean now. Looks like there's some specks at the bottom, but I use this nice little sponge swab. Get down in there and rub it around, and there's like nothing on it. So I'm pretty sure it's clean. Just making sure it's dry, because you don't want any water in there, obviously. It's not good for your brake fluid. But then you look at the inside, nice and clean. And the main thing is you don't want any dirt in this little itty bitty hole or this hole. Alright, so now let's try putting this thing back together with the new parts. Let's get a fresh paper towel. Fluid on here. We can turn a light on, maybe help the light situation. Okay, so here's our new parts. We got them from Drag Specialties. Get these out. So we have our new spring. Now the question is, do I need this on the end? Nope, because it's got a wider base to it. So instead of having this, we just have a wider base. So what we want to do is get our brake fluid out. Let me grab another bottle. It's almost empty. You want to use fresh brake fluid. You don't want it some that's been sitting around for months at a time, because it tends to soak up water. So here's some fresh stuff that we used the other day. I'm going to put some on our parts so it helps lubricate it when we put the seals on. Try not to dump too much. There we go. Get that coated. And you look at the old one and you can see that one's tapered, and you want the taper to go towards the end without the small shaft. That'd be this one. So I just need to work that baby on there. Like so. Not too bad. Make sure it's got some fluid on it. Now the other one, this one's a round O-ring. Just pop that baby on this side. Like so. Not too terrible. Just make sure we got some fluid on it again. Try not to spill too much. Coat those up good. Put our spring in. Maybe we should try not to get so much brake fluid. You don't want to get it on the outside, but yet you kind of need to. Let's see. How about we use this little guy? Put some fluid on that. There we go. Then spring in it first. It might take a little finesse to get it in there, but no, that's not bad. It slips right in there. Look at that. Okay. Now, make sure the silver side or white side goes towards the piston. Put a little fluid on that. Try to make it a little slippery. Now, this is a fun part. I should have grabbed a socket maybe and push that in. Let's see. You definitely don't want something sharp, because you don't want to ruin the seal. Let me grab something else. Hang on. Okay, so I just grabbed a socket that's relatively close to the size of it. Let's try working it in with that and see how we do. Not yet. No success yet. Maybe, let's see. What else do we have that's not sharp? Get the screwdriver flat, maybe? Seal on that side. I need something else. What do I need? Something that fits. That's not sharp. Let me grab an Allen wrench. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm going to try this. And it's not an Allen wrench. I said I was going to get an Allen wrench, but let's see if this works. A little 1/4 inch driver. I'm going to work that little seal down in there. We're getting a little closer here. That's a little bit wide. Okay, maybe I need something smaller. You can see this part's in, but this part over on this side is not. Am I doing the wrong thing by doing this or no? It's not quite yet, is it? Let me get something smaller. Well, might have to be an Allen wrench. This just doesn't seem like it wants to go right where you want. That it? I think I forgot something. I think I made a boo-boo. I think I should have put this in first before I put that on. So now how do I get it out without outrunning it? Well, rookie mistake apparently. Definitely should have put that on first. Now, somehow I gotta get that seal back out without destroying it. Can't get into it that way. Wrong way, it's probably this, but so close. Okay. Now let's try that again. Let's put the seal in around this and this. Slide all that. A little more stuff on it. Okay. Let's try it again, shall we? Now, if I can push the plunger in, maybe I can get the... Yeah. Need a way to hold that plunger down. Because you got to push the plunger and the seal. Not an easy task. Okay, let me swab it, see if I can get a better look at it. Hard to tell black on black. How about a little extra light? Okay. I would say, well, just a little bit right on that side right there. I want something to push it down. They definitely make it look easier on the videos that you watch. Is that it, or does it still need more? I think it's all right. What do you think, people? Just gonna wipe everything up to get dried off. Brake fluid everywhere. That's not dry. Hoping they use paint that's strong enough to withstand brake fluid. Just trying to dry it out, people. Good old Harbor Freight special rags, you know, they don't soak up much. Good to wipe your hands on, but as far as soaking stuff up, not real great. What else have I got? Try not to get anything inside the master cylinder, of course. And I think it's pretty good. Okay, now time to hook it back up, I suppose. This part, it's best if you have more than two hands, so the cameraman's helping me out here. Get these screws started so it doesn't fall off. Here are my Torx driver. Into where they just touch, so we can still make adjustments, because we need to line it up. There's a little tab on this throttle here, need to line up with that, and of course we need to get our brake line in with our little washers, which maybe they're supposed to be replaced, but I don't have replacements, so we're going to put them back on. And this is going to be the fun part, because you got to put the washer on. In here. Right up there. And thread it in. Not too bad. Went better than I was planning on. Okay. Now, gotta put my sock. That's the one. Guess we probably gotta look up the torque specs, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just get it snug for now. Get these a little more snug. And I'll have to look up the torque specs, see what that banjo bolt gets tightened down to. Then once I get that all tightened down, I'll sit on it and adjust the brake levers to the position I like, and then I'll tighten these screws up. And then I'll put the brake lever on. Okay. Anyway, while I have this switch box opened up, throttle cables are in here, so I thought I'll put a little oil on those. It's really hard to see because the lighting's just kind of on the bad side. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see the cables. There's a little lubrication on those bad boys. Feels a little. I don't know which part's dry. Maybe it's the handlebar. I don't know. On this one. Put it right on the cable, so hopefully it runs right down the cable and into the tube. Probably the last thing you want is the throttle cable to stick or break on you. Last year on my other bike, we went for a ride, came back, throttle cable was hanging by one strand. Then, so I ordered new throttle cables, and while I was waiting to clean the bike, noticed my belt, all the teeth on my belt were cracking off. I'm like, I'm so lucky I made it back. And that's a fun project, changing a belt. Not for the light of heart on that one. Okay. Let's put the switch cover back on. Screw on the bottom. These we can tighten up because they don't hold this at all. They'll still pivot. Just holds the switch housing together. That's the proper word, switch housing, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a switch box. Okay. We're ready to do the torque spec. We'll tighten that banjo bolt down. And put the little brake lever back in. Shouldn't be too tough. You just slide it in. All right, just slide it in. Supposedly. What am I doing now? Oh, just got to get the right angle, maybe. There we go. Slide the pin in. Wiggle it around. Now, the fun part is the little snap ring. You definitely want snap ring pliers. It makes it a little easier. Sometimes you can just snap them on without them, but tiny little holes. Get my fingernail out of there, and I think we're good. Yep, beautiful. I like it when it's first try. First go, yeah, it's great. Okay. Still looks like that brake fluid softened the paint up. Alright, let's torque on the banjo bolt. Alright, look up the specs. It's 12 to 18 foot-pounds. So we set your torque wrench to 12 to 18 foot-pounds. I got mine right around 15. Try not to scratch anything in the fairing. Just turn it nice and easy till it clicks. There we go. That's it. Tightened up. Now we can put some brake fluid in it and then we'll start bleeding the brakes. Hopefully not us. Okay, just buttoning it back up. We've bled our brakes and master cylinder. Putting the cap back on. Okay, so we put a new master cylinder rebuild kit in this because the brakes were weak. And we bled the brakes after we did the master cylinder, bled the master cylinder and everything, and same result. It still goes clear to here before you get any pressure on the brakes. Which is bad because usually you ride with your hand like that and you're going to smash your finger. You should be grabbing here, not here. So we tried. There's got to be something else wrong somewhere. That's all we have for you today. See ya.